Welcome back, guys, to another video. I wanted to talk about what's been going on the campus of Colorado University in regards to the football team and how the football team is moving around. On I want to give credit to where credit is due. I think his channel used to be Liquidator or something like that, but I think he changed his channel name to Prime in Colorado. That's where I got the information from, and it talked about Jordan Seaton, the number one offensive lineman recruit that decided to go to Boulder and play for Colorado University. It talked about how, and he was on his I guess his Instagram or Twitter or whatever social media um, application he was using at the time, and he was video recording himself, and he was talking about how you know people asked him the question if, because he's an athlete, because he's a student athlete, does he have to go to class? And he quickly debunked that misnomer. He was like, because if you're a student athlete, student first, athlete second. And Coach Prime is living up to that billing. He's making his, well, I'm not going to say making, he's making it a priority for the football players to go to class. Now, some of you guys may say this is not a big deal. Some of you guys may say, "Oh, Coach Prime is just doing it for show." I don't think he's doing that for show. There's nothing. There's nothing that he. There's no show about that. There's nothing flashy about making it a priority for your football team to go to class. There's nothing showy about that. I'm trying to play devil's advocate to see what any naysayer can say about this. Coach Prime really doesn't care about the kids. He's just making them go to class to make people think he cares about the kids' education. Like, that's a stretch. I'm not going to go that far. The message that's being sent by that marker, or that priority that's being marked and set at that height, it shows that if you're going to be a football team that's focused on the details of the game or the details of practice, it's the little details that makes or breaks a team. We understand that. And if you are a student athlete and you can't be disciplined enough to go to class, then how can we count on you to be disciplined enough to be where you're supposed to be on the football field? I think there's a clear message that's being sent that's, though in two different reference, yes, one is the student academic and one is the athletic part, but both converge into one wholesome product, because before you can be an athlete, you have to be a student. Not only a student in the classroom, but you also have to be a student of the game. You have to be a student and study your film. You have to be a student to study your opponent's tendencies. You have to be a student to understand the playbook. So you never stop being a student. You never stop being a student. Oh, hold on for a second. Hold on for Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. So when you're playing on a football team, the preaching and the emphasis of going to class is very important. Now, we understand that Coach Prime is not just about going to class. He wants to see you excel in the classroom as well. You understand that during his press conferences, he likes to give recognition to the players who are doing well in the classroom as well. So there's a clear message that's being sent on the football team that speaks to being excellent in all facets of being a student athlete at Boulder. That's a sign of a coach that's trying to instill a certain message to the football team, meaning that not just the football team but the program in itself. Like, if you're going to come to Boulder, we take everything that we do seriously. If you're going to be a student athlete, then you're going to be 100% dedicated to being a student, but you're also going to be 100% dedicated to being an athlete. So there's no separating the two. So Jordan Seaton was answering the question when he was asked, "Oh, do you guys really have to go to class?" He's like, "Oh, if you don't go to class, there's hell to pay. You would regret not going to class." And he was like, "Oh, you're gonna be a mathematician for sure. You're gonna be counting how many gassers and how many sprints you're gonna have to run for the punishment, for the consequence if you decided not to go to class." And I think that's a major thing for college athletes, and I think that's something that Coach Prime wants to change. I think he wants these young men to be more than just football players, because he understands that not every guy on the football team is going to go to the NFL. But there's something that goes with going to class. It's not about making the highest grades, even though we want that to happen. We want that to be the end product. We want you to go to class and excel in your academics. But let's say you're still struggling and you go to class every day. But the fact that you're consistently going to class, that builds character. It builds a level of endurance that's lodged within your soul. It teaches you to continue to go on and push forward, even if something's not going your way, or even if it is going your way. It gives you a reason to continue to push, to go towards that standard of excellence. So I like what Coach Prime is doing with those kids there. It's that we're gonna have fun, we're gonna work hard, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna work hard, play hard, and I like that video. I have nothing negative to say about it, but I can see how some people and that's what we have to, tote the line of being objective and being unbiased. You understand? Because you may not like what Coach Prime is doing in Colorado. You may think that he's a coach that's undeserving to get all the attention. But we all know that the attention that he was receiving was because of the money and the revenue he was generating for Colorado. Like I said, he did not win Sportsman of the Year because he was a great coach. He won Sportsman of the Year because of the notoriety and the popularity that he brought to Colorado and Boulder. So I'm not here saying that he's the best coach in the world, or that I agree with all his tactics, the things that are going on in the locker room, bringing in a DJ in, letting rappers go on the sideline. I think that's a little bit too much, personally, for me. But every man is entitled to run their program the way they want to run it. It does not mean because I dislike certain things that he does that means that everything that he does I have to dislike. That becomes an illogical practice in terms of when you're making critique or making any type of analysis. You can't use the general broad stroke of a brush to start painting things, and you start getting products that are laced and steeped into ambiguity because you're not being clear and concise with your messaging. You're being ambiguous because now it's like, I don't like him personally, or I don't like what he does. I want him to fail so bad that even when I do see certain goods that he's doing, I'm going to find out, or I'm going to place on him an ulterior motive and say that he's doing this for this reason. So I played the devil's advocate earlier. Somebody can say, "Oh yeah, he's only making those kids go to class because he's trying to show." But no, I mean, but people will go there. People will go there. But I'm not that type of person to go there. I know I have children of my own, and if they went to any university and they were playing for any coach, and the coach was, very rigid about them going to class, I would love that, because I would want the coach to be on my son or the coach to be on my daughter, to make sure that going to class is a priority, just as much as a priority as coming to practice. You have to be buttoned up in all facets of your life. What made Tom Brady so great is because he was a student of the game. Even after the games, he would eat, sleep, drink football. He was disciplined. So that's something that has to be cultivated and worked on earlier in your younger years. So if you're in your younger years, if you had a coach that pushed you to go to class, it's not that he wants you to go to class because he thinks that going to class is going to make you run faster in sprints. But we understand that football, any physical sport that's embedded in the realm of physicality, is going to require some sort of mental insertion, meaning that the whole game is not all physical. As much as the game is physical, 75% of the game is mental. So if you can always make yourself get up and go to class and do your assignments and keep up with your assignments, not skipping class, it means that you're disciplined. You are bullying your body to do what it doesn't want to do. You're bullying your mind to go to a place you don't want to go. Everybody wants to go to practice. Everybody wants to play in the football game, but not too many students want to go to class. because you have all the excuses. Maybe you practiced, you worked out, you don't want to wake up in the morning. You guys had a long, hard day of training. Going to class is just not priority right now. Let me get an extra hour or two of sleep. Maybe you stayed up late studying for another exam and you don't feel. But see, when you can push through those moments of adversity, it can translate to things that go on the football field when things aren't going your way. When you feel like you're tired, you don't want to do the next thing. You don't want to you don't want to sprint to the ball because you feel like, oh, the play's over with. But sprinting to the ball could come out. It could be a fumble. You could be in the right place at the right time to retrieve that ball. So Coach Prime is trying to insert a certain type of philosophy, a certain type of mindset on that football team. And, people always talk about the Miami Heat, talking about the Heat way, the Miami Heat way, and for basketball. Well, I think what Coach Prime is trying to establish at Colorado and Boulder is that he's trying to establish a Colorado way, the way he wants it to be. And he wants all the men to be excellent in all things. If you're going to be a top 5-star recruit out of high school, I want you to be a top 5-star I want you to have a 5-star type mentality in terms of your academics and how you pursue your academics. If you're going to be a beast or a dog in the football field and dominate, then I need you to dominate off the field inside the classrooms. I need you to dominate in your relationships. I want you to be perfect in all things or strive for that perfection. And we always know that there's no such thing as perfection, but there is a such thing as a progression towards perfection. And if you're progressing towards perfection, I'll take that any day over a person that's complacent and a person that doesn't pay attention to details. So kudos to Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffs. And I like what I see, making those kids go to class. They have to, because you got to understand, most of these men are not going to be in the NFL, but he wants these men to grow up to be well off, to be good. To have that degree, to have that sense of discipline and push to push through. And going to class is like a primary step, because if you're not disciplined to take yourself inside of a classroom and listen to the lecture and take the notes and study, then how are you going to find a job? You got to be disciplined in the little things so the big things can actually happen. So thank you guys for listening again. Coach Prime, making those kids go to class. And letting them know that there's a consequence for not going to class. All right, thank you guys for listening. To the next video. Peace out.